Good morning. It's very cold. It's been kind of a bittersweet morning because it hit me a little bit that the trip is coming to an end. However, we still have 2 really good days left and 2 national parks still to hit. We're technically in Kings Canyon right now, but we have a lot to see today, so I'm super excited. One thing that's really nice about both Sequoia and Kings Canyon is that most of the really awesome viewpoints are really easy to just drive up to. You don't have to go on some crazy hike. That's the case for a lot of stuff at Yosemite. We walked less than a quarter of a mile. It was up about 100 feet, and we're left with this view. Oh, do I look sick? Oh. So one of the highlights of Kings Canyon National Park is this right here, the General Grant tree. It's the 3rd largest tree in the world. And yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. The park was actually initially named General Grant National Park, and then they changed the name later on when they expanded it to include the Kings Canyon part of it as well. And if you can see on the sign, one small little fact about this that I think is just so fun is that this is the nation's Christmas tree. They say that there are up to 275 known caves in the area. So about halfway through this scenic byway, there is this really sick cave tour that we're about to do called Boyden Cavern.
This is crazy.
But if we go back thousands and thousands of years, it wasn't just a little annual creek that sometimes showed up. The whole cave was entirely filled up with water. And so the formation of the cave is all about this water flow that went through this marble mountain. Okay, next part of the cave. Has a really low ceiling. We call it the headache maker room.
Oh. I see how it got its name.
There's a wedding cake back behind you folks, right?
Oh,
40,000-year-old wedding cake.
the wedding cake. Look at that cake.
Really good.
That looks really good. I should have gotten that. I'm joking.
I just embrace the darkness and make it really dark.
Embrace the darkness in my twisted mind. For people like me, the darkness down here is nothing for my dark and twisted mind. This cave is only a small portion of the darkness my mind consumes.
Another characteristic of the cave you can always count on once you've gone around enough corners is there's no light this far back inside the cave. I'm going to show you what it's like to be somewhere without light. Get next to your friends, there you go. We're going to turn out the lights. It's for the fun of it, right? Here we go.
What a darkness. The darkness. Hi.
Which way would you like to go?
I'm trying to get some adventure.
Well, then go down that ladder.
All right. Y'all aren't ready for the adventure.
It's called the adventure.
Watch out. Right there.
How was it?
It was cool.
How was the adventure?
It was cool.
Should I hold it close? I'll hold it close. I'll hold I choked trying to do ASMR. Okay, so we wrapped up at Boyden Cavern and we completed the drive through the scenic byway. We're back in Kings Canyon National Park. And right now we're gonna do the Mist Falls hike. It's about 8.1 miles. What's really interesting about Kings Canyon is that in spite of how big it is, there are hardly any roads. After World War II, a lot of people were trying to make it like a wilderness resort, and people lobbied against that instead, rather just to preserve it. And the lobbyists won. So because of that, not many roads were established. It's just kind of being preserved as this wilderness area. So this point here is kind of one of the furthest ones, and you can go on the top section, and you can have little out and back hikes, or you can go really far in and backpack, and you'll need a wilderness permit and everything for that. But today we just have a little one. This section of the hike is so crazy. We were going through like sand and deserty vibe for a long time, and now I feel like we're on Endor and a bunch of Ewoks are about to come out. This is crazy. Different planet. Something that's so crazy to me that we've been seeing a lot this entire trip is when you look up at the mountains here, you can see the discoloration between the dark and the light, and that's just all from water going down there. And it's just so insane to think of at one point, all the glacier water just caving in from the sides in every single direction. I think my favorite part about this trip thus far is that every single hike at these national parks is worth it. Most of this trail, we were away from the river, in the forest. It was still very pretty, but nothing mind-blowing. And then you finally get to the end. I mean, worth it. There's not a single ugly thing here. We finished Mist Trails maybe 5 minutes ago, and thank God we did, because as soon as we got in the car, it just became an absolute torrential downpour. There were a lot of people still on the trail who didn't have rain jackets or anything, who were going up. So they're getting absolutely soaked right now. This came out of nowhere. Just got to our campsite. I am exhausted. The camping's been fun, the hiking's been fun, the driving is taking it out of me. So I'm going to bed, but we've got one more day, one more park, big final day. I'm super, super excited. But for now, I am closing my eyes. Good morning. I took some Sequoia last night, and I was out. I slept like crazy.
which is also nice considering that we had like maybe 50 coyotes around us last night, just screaming all night, which was very cool. But last day, super sad. One thing that I'm not sad about though is waking up to this view. This campsite is gorgeous. Today will definitely be a good last day to wrap up the whole trip. I'm excited for my bed, but I'm also not ready to go home. It's also Eagles game day, so I've got my midnight green hiking shirt on. Go Birds. We're about halfway up the journey that it takes to get to kind of where all the sequoia trees are. And we were talking about how you don't really think of Sequoia National Park as being mountainous, but this entire drive has been insane. You have to go so high up just to get to where all the bigger trees are. And the rest of it is just this incredible canyon. So we just hiked down to the general Sherman Tree. You can see it behind me, it's absolutely enormous. One of the cool things about this is that you hike down the height of the tree. So you start at the top and then you hike all the way the distance it takes to get to the bottom. This is the largest tree on Earth. One thing that's really crazy about it is that the top is dead. So it's not gonna get any taller, but it does get wider every single year. And if you look on the ground behind you, the cobblestone that's on the ground is the size of the tree. So you can stand in the middle and really get an idea of how big it is. It's pretty dang big. One of the biggest differences between Kings Canyon and Sequoia, Kings Canyon has a lot of big trees. They have a lot of big sequoia trees, but Sequoia National Forest has so many of them. They're just all lined up. There's so many. It truly is a giant forest. At Kings Canyon, there might have been like one or two next to each other. Here, there are dozens everywhere. It's been super crowded all day, but we just did the mini hike up to Hanging Rock. There's nobody here. I don't know how to capture how steep this is on camera, other than doing this, but I have no idea how this rock is still here. I don't know where it came from. There's nothing really up here that would have fallen from. And even still, if it had fallen down, I don't know how it's here. I've seen pictures before and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. Seeing it in person is insane. Right off of that is just a cliff. Pretty nuts. Zoom in so it looks like I'm hanging on. And then zoom in so people can't tell. We're doing the Moro Rock climb right now. It's not really a hike, it's kind of just a staircase, but the views are super worth it regardless. It is a lot of stairs, and I do feel like I'm climbing Mount Doom right now. It feels crazy to say, but the trip is coming to an end. Over 1,000 miles, 3 national parks. I feel like I've lived an entire month's worth of my life in 1 week. So for the final send-off, we're gonna hike back up to Hanging Rock. I got the best root beer ever made, Dublin Texas X. We're gonna watch the sunset, and then we're gonna head home. There's nothing I love more than being in the mountains and feeling so small. Recognizing in the grand scheme of this earth that your life is insignificant can sound alarming. But for me, it's freeing. Free from the anxiety of what's to come in life and how I'll navigate it. Free from self-doubt, free from judgment, free from the day-to-day and even minute-to-minute. I'll be here and then I'll be gone, but these mountains will remain for generations. What I'm concerned about today is only a blip on the radar to them. And in being free from myself in my mind, I'm able to focus more on the beautiful things around me. The people I know and the things we'll create together. Those that I'll meet for the first time and open my eyes to new perspectives, see the riches this incredible earth has to offer, and accept the peace it brings me. And while I may be so small compared to an eternal mountain, I am free.